Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video on the channel where today we're taking a look at another one of my favorite formations this year in FIFA. Today we're taking a look at the 4-3-3-5 variant, another one of my favorite formations this year in FIFA. I do like this formation a lot. I'd probably say this is like mid-tier skill level. I wouldn't say this is like a top-tier formation, but I would say if you're someone that's maybe sort of a gold 2, gold 1 player, this is a great sort of tier formation for you to use. If you want to see any more formations, do let me know in the comment section. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel. It really does help us out massively. Make sure you drop a thumbs up as well. That does help us out massively as well. So the 4-3-3-5, great formation for me. I like the width. I like the fact that it's got a good, nice centre forward, 2 good midfielders, good holding midfielders. So it's got kind of all the things you need in the formation. It is kind of a formation that you do need certain specific personnel in to make it successful. Now, in terms of the tactics, these were the tactics that I did end up settling on. We've got possession, press after possession loss. Now, the reason why I went for a press, winger formations I find tend to work best on a press because you press the whole pitch. When you press, like if you use a narrow formation, for example, you try a press, very easy to play around a press because you can just obviously use the width. If you're using a wing formation and somebody's using a narrow formation, pressing doesn't really work because you can get out through the wings. So pressing works really well, especially on wing formations. That's why I went for press after possession loss. If you don't like that because you think maybe it's a little bit too hectic and might leave you a little bit too exposed, you can try press on heavy touch. I do think this is really effective as well, and will kind of leave you more organized for the majority of the game and only press in certain moments. So that could work better for you. In terms of defensive width, I went on around about 6. Again, it's kind of the standard width I usually go for on wing formations. I don't want to be too narrow because obviously people do tend to attack down the wings in this FIFA. So you never really want to go much less than 5. But, you know, going too wide just makes it really easy to pick you out through the middle. So 6 is a good balance. Depth-wise, anything around 4 or 5, again, is a good sort of number. Again, you don't want to go too deep. You know, we're not those sort of guys. And I'm not the sort of person that will encourage people to play this sort of depth. So 4 or 5 depth is definitely where I'd recommend. You know, you don't get too gung-ho and too high up the pitch, but you're also not too deep, so it becomes really difficult to attack. Offensive style, we went for my tried and trusted long ball. It works really well, especially if you've got pacey players at the top end of the pitch. You know, using wingers as well, you're going to have fast players, and you see that we've got a great striker as well, so it works exceptionally well long ball. You could also maybe try like fast build up again if you wanted it. You wanted to work with that pressure and heavy touch, if that's how you like to play. For me personally, I would recommend long ball. I think it works exceptionally well. Width-wise, again, offensive width is more important. Went for around 8 on the offensive width. Now, again, because we've got wingers, we want to utilize that width, and these guys will make them really stretch the pitch. So it's going to kind of really pull your opponent's defenders out to come and get you, and that's why your midfielders are really important. You need your midfielders to make good runs in behind to support the striker, because your wingers typically are there to kind of just stretch the pitch, and your midfielders are the ones that really will get a lot of the goals. Your wingers might not get so many goals. And then the rest in terms of players in the box, corners and free kicks is all standard. I tend to go 5 players in the box. Don't want too many players in the box. Want my instructions to do the work. And then corners, 3. Again, if you're worried about countering, you could just knock that back to 1 and just go short on your corners, and then just work it around. I like to go 3 in the corners because I like to mix it up. Sometimes I go short, sometimes I like to cross it. And then free kicks, we always take shots from free kicks. So in terms of the instructions, obviously the goalkeeper we want on sweeper keeper. That's kind of self-explanatory. You know, we've explained many times in our videos that sweeper keeper is something that will save you a couple of goals every now and again. You know, there'll be the odd time here or there where you might get ball rolled and they might just slot it around you. But if you're playing on that level of sort of a goal 2 standard, which really would really suit this formation, sort of goal 2, goal 1. Very unlikely you're going to come against players that will be able to perform those sorts of skills. So it's a great tactic to use. Defenders, as always, you know, the whole back 4 we've got on stay back while attacking is really a stable for 4 back formations that I like to preach about. You know, I like to have that solid foundation. I don't want to get brought in behind. Also, I've got conservative interceptions for all of the back 4. Now, this is something that I used this weekend league, because I'll be honest, I had a shocking weekend league. I was very poor this weekend league. And I found one of the issues I had was a lot of my defenders were lunging in. I think this is something that a lot of people have an issue with. And I dropped my back 4 onto conservative interceptions. And I found that it started to improve a lot, because the reason why it tended to work, because obviously sometimes you get a lot of AI lunges. And not just AI interceptions, a lot of AI lunges. And that was because of the conservative interceptions. Your player would try and lunge in front of the ball. And if he would miss, you know, just a split second, he's out of the game. So I found that conservative interceptions worked very well. In terms of CDM, we've got that 96 Tony Kroos. I've got cover centre, stay back while attacking, and man mark. Now, interestingly, I've left him on normal interceptions. The reason why is because you do want your CDM to be intercepting passes. You don't want to have everybody on conservative inceptions because then your team is just going to stand off all the time. But it's really important in your back four. You don't want them diving in and getting out of position. They need to stay in position, so then you've always got a good foundation. Also, this midfield is the one that you want to really be patrolling in front of your back four with, and only switching to the defenders when you have to. So man mark, stay back while attacking cover centre ensures that he's going to always stay in the correct position. And then we've got Kai Havertz and Cazorla as the two outside midfielders. Now, this is not necessarily the team that I use. It's just what got me on good chemistry when I was using this team. The two outside midfielders got to get into the box, aggressive inceptions. Now, again, aggressive inceptions, I don't think it's such a bad thing at the top end of the pitch. The reason why, you want aggressive inceptions at the top end of the pitch because your players, even if they do miss and mess up, you've still got plenty of players behind you. You don't want your defenders to be on aggressive inceptions because when they miss, they're straight in on goal. So I don't mind the midfielders being on aggressive inceptions because we've now got Cruz and the back four, stable sort of 5 players behind them and the goalkeeper before they get to shoot a goal. So it doesn't matter if they're on aggressive inceptions. Get into the box because I want more goals. I like to play quite attacking on the front foot. I don't want to go too gung-ho and put them on get forward because I think that's just going to make your formation really imbalanced. You'll find that your players will get into the box, and if you don't score, there's going to be, you know, a gap of about 40 yards, and only Toni Kroos is going to be in there, and they're probably going to have like 3 midfielders. So that's why you're going to get countered a lot. So balanced attack is definitely the way to go. In terms of the two wingers, now we've got the same instructions on Perisic and Perez. We've got cut inside, we've got to get in behind, get into the box crosses, aggressive interceptions again, which we've already explained. Get into the box. We want obviously more players getting into the box, want more chances and more opportunities and more people that we can possibly pick out and score more goals. Cut inside, of course. Want cut inside. The reason why is because I like to have my wingers. I know we did indicate at the beginning of the video on the width wise for the offense, they're going to really stretch out. That's going to be their starting position. But if you're going to play like a lot of give and goes, they're going to make those runs in behind the fullback and the centre back. So cut inside is very, very effective. And getting behind as well, because you're going to have really pacey wingers. That's definitely the way to play. And then up front, we have got this 99 Lewandowski. So it doesn't really matter the instructions because this guy is an absolute tank. But stay central and getting behind is what I use for him. Again, aggressive interception. Now, a lot of people maybe would say, why not put him on stay forward? I don't like stay forward on the attackers or the wingers. I find that it becomes your team becomes like really disconnected and it becomes very difficult to play. So I don't find that stay forward works very well. Another thing to note is I didn't like false 9. I think false 9 only works on certain players. I know it's a centre forward position and that's kind of the idea. But because we've got Lewandowski, who is an actual out and out striker, false 9 doesn't really work because they drop in and they almost become like a cam. So in that position, you need them to have really high passing and you need them to have really high agility and balance, which obviously is Lewandowski. Even though he's got very high agility and balance, he still doesn't feel like super light on the ball. And, you know, his passing is not his natural game. If you had someone like Del Piero in this position, who is actually a centre forward, he would work really well as a false 9 because he's got very agile, got great passing as well. But if you have an actual out and out striker, a Lewandowski, an Mbappe, a Vardy, you know, the passing in that sort of game is not their natural thing, so you don't want them dropping in false 9. You want them on stay central and getting behind. You want them scoring the goals and doing the business. So that is it for this 4-3-3-5. Definitely a good formation. Like I say, it's probably a great formation if you're sort of a gold 2/gold 1 player. This would be a great formation if you want to sort of take your game up to that sort of level for the last couple of weekend leagues of the year. This would be a good formation to try out. Definitely something to give a go and just see if it works well for you. But if you do want to see any more videos and formations, as always, let me know in the comment section. I do appreciate all your guys feedback. It's been really, really positive at the moment. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that is watching the content and does love it. And I really, really appreciate that it is helping you guys out. So massive thank you to all you guys. But that is all for today, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm out.